Today is declared an unscheduled holiday. Jonas, his parents, and Lily all turned in surprise and looked at the wall speaker from which the announcement had come. It happened to it happened so rarely, and was such a treatment for the entire community when it did. Adults were exempt from their day's work, children from school and training, and volunteer hours. The substitute levies, who'd be given a different holiday, took over all the necessary tasks nurturing food delivery and care of old, and the community was free. Jonas cheered and put his homework folder down. He had been about to leave for school. School was less important to him now, and before much more time passed, his normal schooling would end. But still, for twelves, though they had begun their adult training, there were the endless list of rules to be memorized and the newest technology to be mastered. He wished his parents, sister, and gave a happy day and rode down the bicycle path looking for Asha. He had not taken a p- he had not taken the pills. Now for 4 weeks the strings had returned, and he felt a little guilty and embarrassed about the pleasurable dreams that came to him as he slept. But he knew he couldn't go back to the world of no feelings that he had lived in so long, and his new heightened feelings permitted a greater moan, and then simply his sleep, though he knew that his fail his failure to take the pills accounted for some of it. He thought that the feelings came also from the memories. Now he could see all of the colors, and he could skip them too, so that the trees and grass and bushes stayed green in his vision. Gabriel's rosy cheeks stayed pink, even when he slept, and apples were always red. Now, there were the memories. He had seen oceans and mountain lakes and streams that goggled their woods, and now he saw the familiar wide river beside the path differently. He saw all of the light and color and history it contained and carried its slow moving water, and he knew that where there was an elsewhere from which it came, and an elsewhere to which it was going. On this expect on this unexpected casual holiday he felt happy, as he always had on holidays, but with a deeper happiness than ever before. Thinking, as he always did, about precision of language, Jonas realized that it was a new depth of feelings that he was experiencing. Somehow they were not at all the same as the feelings that every evening, in every dwelling, every citizen's analyzed with endless talk. I felt angry because someone broke the play area rules. Lily had said once, making a fist with her small hand to indicate her fury. Her family, Jonas among them, had talked about the possible reasons for rule breaking and the need for understanding and patience, until Lily's fist had relaxed and her anger was gone. But Lily had not felt anger, Jonas realized now. Shallow impatience and exasperation. That was all Lily had felt. He knew that with certainty, because now he knew what anger was. Now he had, in the memory, experienced an injustice and cruelty, and he had reacted with rage that welled up passionately inside him that the thought of discussing it calmly at the evening meal and unthinkably. I felt sad today, he had heard his mother say, and they had comforted her. But now Jonas had experienced real sadness. He had felt grief. He knew that there was no quick comfort for emotions like those. These were deeper, and they did not need to be told. They were felt. Today he felt happiness. Asher, he spied his friend's bicycle leaning against a tree at the edge of the playing field nearby. Nearby, other bikes were strewn about on the ground. On a holiday, the usual rules of order could be disregarded. He skipped to a stop and dropped his own bike beside the others. Hey, Asha, he shouted. Looking around, there seemed to be no one in the play area. Where are you? A child's voice, coming from behind a nearby bush, made the sound. Pow, pow, pow! A female 11 named Tanya struggled forward from where she had been hiding. Dramatically, she clutched her stomach and stumbled about in a jagged pattern, groaning. You got me, she called, and fell to the ground grinning. Blam! John, standing on the side of the playing field, recognized Asher's voice. He saw his friends aiming an imaginary weapon in his hand dart from behind one tree to another. Blam! You're in my line of ambush, Jonas. Watch out! Jonas stepped back. He moved behind Asher's bike and knelt so that he was out of sight. He was a game he had it was a game he had often played with the other children, a game of the good guys and bad guys, a harmless pastime that used up their contained energy and ended only when they all lay paused in a frigid posture on the ground. He had never recognized it before as a game of war. Attack! The shout came from behind the small storehouse where play equipment was kept. Three children dashed forward, their imaginary weapons in a fearing position. From the opposite side of the field came an opposing shot. Counter-attack from their hiding places, a horde of children. Jones recognized Fiona in the group emerged, running in the couch position, per- fearing, fearing across the field. Several of them stopped, grabbed their own shoulders and chest with exaggerated gestures, and pretended to be hit. They dropped to the ground and lay surprising giggles. Feelings shrugged within Jonas. He found himself walking forward into the field. You're hit, Jonas! Asher yelled from behind the trees. Pow! You're hit again! Jonas stood alone in the center of the field. Several children raised their hands and looked at him uneasily. Detecting a armies slowed emerge from their couch positions and watched to see what he was doing. In his mind, Jonas saw again the face of the boy who had lain dying on the field and had begged him for water. He had a sudden choking feeling, as if it was difficult to breathe. One of the children raised an imaginary rifle and made an attempt to destroy him with a fearing noise. Phew! Then They were all they were all silent, standing awkwardly, and the one only sound was the sound of John's shuddering breath. He was struggling not to cry. Gradually, when nothing happened, nothing changed. The children looked at each other nervously and went away. He heard the sounds as they righted their bicycles and began to ride down the path that led from the field. Only Asha and Fiona remained. What's wrong, Jonas? It was only a game, Fiona said.